Hospital workers have read it. What's the creepiest thing you've ever seen? I posted this in a thread a while ago. I am in a medical profession, but I am not a doctor. This is my father's story, who is an OB/GYN. My father's on call and gets called in to take care of a 16-year-old girl from a rival high school. Girl comes in bleeding profusely. She has a cut from her belly button, almost all the way down to her anus. My father spends about 2 hours stitching her up, which is apparently a long time. My father obviously figured out this girl was pregnant, and she had tried to give herself a C-section. This girl was incredibly lucky, as most of the time self-performed C-sections end up in death. The girl's father is waiting outside the OR. My dad comes out asking where the baby. The girl's father freaks out, screaming at my dad, "My daughter's not pregnant. You're a quack," etc. My father obviously calls the cops. The cops search the girl's home and find the baby dead in the closet, with a sock stuffed in his mouth. The girl's father is freaking out and apologizes to my dad and asks him what to do. My dad just says, "Find a good lawyer." He did find a good lawyer too, because she got off. Working at a skilled nursing facility. Came in for my shift, and walked past a patient's room, asked when his nasal tube to stomach for feeding, was put in. There wasn't one. He had a worm coming out of his nose, reaching down to his chest when we went back to check. I was a supervisor over the admissions department of the emergency room in a VERY small hospital in a rural area. I had 2 people calling one night, so I had to go in and work by myself. Around 3 am, EMS arrives with a patient that shouldn't have been brought to our hospital. She was DOA. Being in the admissions department meant I had to do all the paperwork when patients came to the hospital. I walked into the room with my clipboard and saw a woman on a stretcher with a dog chain around her neck. She had claw marks all around the chain where it looks like she had tried to get the chain off. EMS stated that in the process of hanging herself, she changed her mind, but it was too late. Gave me chills. I've had some health problems lately after being isolated in my room for a few years. I'm pretty sure I'm starting to get a mild schizophrenia, but this comment makes my heart drop a bit. I sometimes think I see movement in the corner of my eye, but when I turn to see, there's nothing there. The only time I do catch a glimpse of the shadow figure is when I'm brushing my teeth and looking in the mirror. Always behind me. Our laundry room is directly in front of the mirror, and we keep the lights off when it's not being used, which is what I think my mind is misinterpreting. I always see a lanky figure with a top/bowler hat standing there. I don't see it for long, every time. Usually less than a second, but I definitely see it. Or should I say him? It always gives me a calming feeling when I see him rather than the creepy feeling you'd imagine you'd get in this situation. Anyway, I decided to call him Tom. I like to think he's there to make sure I take care of my dental hygiene. I once had a patient who was an inmate, unspeakable crimes against his daughter, come in because he clawed one of his eyes out, and MOST of the other one to stop seeing what he did. We had him in restraints because he kept trying to finish the job. The way he looked and talked still haunt me to this day.